Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do some speaking feedback on Alpona's speaking test. That was quite a popular video, a lot of people watched that one. So let's have a look and do some feedback and give some scores. So, good morning, my name is Glyn. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good morning, sir. My name is Alpona and you may call me Alpona.
Cool, nice start. Thank you. Now, in this first part of the test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Do you work or do you study?
Okay, currently I'm student and I am focused on my study.
So currently I'm student, so we need that article there. I'm a student. Articles are very common mistakes, but this rule of like saying what somebody is, I am a teacher, I am a student, I am an engineer, very basic stuff. So I am student and I am focused on my study. It's not very full. And what are you studying?
Actually, now I'm studying honors first year and my major subject is history.
So major. So instead of major, English has this j sound. Major, major. Alpona says major, so there's a z. So she doesn't have that j sound, it seems. But okay, she's studying history. The answer is clear enough. And why did you decide to study history?
Actually, history.
So twice now we've had actually. So she answered the question like, what are you studying? Actually, da 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 da. Why did you decide to study history? Actually, da 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 da. I don't see the need to use actually here. And it's something now I'm listening for. Is she going to use actually to answer every question? Let's see.
I thought history is really interesting subject yeah, and my father and also my father wanted to me I study in his
Wanted to me I study. So my father wanted to me I study. So in English, want somebody to do something. My father wanted me to study.
study.
And what would you like to do when you finish studying?
I would say
So there's a long gap between the question and the answer there, a long gap. I don't know if it's an internet problem or if Alpona is just spending some time to think about the answer, but if that gap between the end of the question and the beginning of the answer, if it's too long, this is an aspect of bad fluency. It's called long latency or high latency.
when I finished my study, I will
Intonation is a bit strange. It sounds mechanical. Duh, 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 duh. When I finished my study. So this type of intonation is normal when students are trying to think of the right words, but because Alpona is spending time trying to access that correct language, this has a negative impact on her fluency and her intonation.
I will join I will join a job if I get a chance.
So notice the repair work here that she starts to speak, she breaks down and she tries to fix her language. I'll just play that part again.
My study,
I
will join I will join a job.
I will join a job. So it's difficult for her to get the language out. I will join a job. Now, join a job isn't the correct collocation here. It's not the correct language. I will try to get a job. I will look for a job. I will start a job. Those are all possible language, not join a job. You can join a company, perhaps, but it takes her, she's decided to use I will join a job, but she doesn't get that language out in one go. It takes her about 5 attempts. I will I will join a job. So it takes her many attempts to say what she wants to say, and this negatively affects fluency.
Job, if I get a chance.
Let's move on now and talk about films. Do you like watching films?
Yes, sir, definitely. Even I am a film fanatic person. Whenever
So there's a bit of an internet problem there, but I will ignore that.
I get a chance, I want to watching different types of film.
Okay, when I get a chance, I plan to watching different types of films. So when I get the chance, I watch different types of films is fine. I don't know about this plan to watching. It sounds very strange.
Such as my favorite film is Three Idiots.
Cool. So it's a nice full answer. She says that she likes films whenever she gets the chance. She tries to watch films maybe, and she mentioned her favorite film. So that's quite good extension, good development of the answer. And what kind of films are popular in your country?
In my country, there are a lot of film famous, especially culture related films.
So intonation is the same. It's like this, and it starts flat, and then it goes up. So intonation is a little bit repetitive, and we don't have a variety of intonation types here. So Alfona uses the same intonation for most of her answers so far.
Most of the people love to watch culture related because
Culture related, but culture related films or culture related movies.
they learn and they learn a- about culture, different type of culture.
So the word learn sounds a bit like lan, and I have to think that they learn about different cultures. So as an examiner here, I'm thinking, well, what does she mean? She learn about. I don't know learn about. Maybe she means learn about. So I have to try to interpret this. I have to try to be like a detective and work out what she's trying to say because the pronunciation of learn isn't correct. She's saying lan.
And yes, it is.
Let's talk about animals now. Do you like animals?
Yes, sir, definitely. I love animals. Even I have two cats.
So again, notice how long it takes her to get, how many attempts it takes her. I have two cats. So it takes her many attempts to say I have two cats. And sometimes this can be because a candidate is nervous. Sometimes I don't know. Maybe they're trying to think too quickly. Just slow down, practice these types of basic sentences. With part three, we expect some problems there. But sentences like, I have two cats, I think, Alfona's English is good enough that she can sit, think, and do you like animals? Yes, I do. I have two cats. Just by controlling your nerves a little bit, you can say this in one attempt. And of course, it's better to say it in one attempt than 4 or 5 attempts.
Uh, his name is Tom and
So, which name is whose names are? So, bit of grammar mistake here.
Teddy. They are really
But amazing that her cats are called Tom and Jerry. That's wonderful. Great job.
cute.
And okay, so a bit of good language, like they are cute, right? And then maybe more language would be useful there. So not just they're cute, but they're fluffy or they're really sweet, and I like taking them for a walk, or I like, I don't know, feeding them, or I like petting them, or something like this. You could use a bit more language than just they are cute. Why do you like animals? So again, I'm giving an opportunity now. Why do you like animals? So good descriptions here, the way that they look cute, they look nice, they're sweet, they're beautiful, or maybe they're friendly, or maybe they're cuddly, or maybe you like spending time with them, you like helping them, or they give you love, or something like this. You have a connection. There's a lot of language that we can use to talk about positive, attitudes to animals.
Uh, mm,
So the latency problem, I think, is an internet connection. So I will not worry about this delay between the question and the answer because I think it's an internet problem.
because animal is really, I think,
So when we speak in general, we usually use the plural. Plural. Animals are. Alphona's using animal is. So do you like animals in general? Yeah, animals are. Da, 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 da. That's what it should be.
some kinds of animals are really so friendly um,
Friendly is a good adjective. A bit basic, but it's good enough.
and they're looking like amazing.
They looking like amazing. So they look amazing. It's fine. Not they looking like. Look like we use with a noun, right? Like I look like my brother, or I look like a teacher, or with my glasses, I look like a nerd, or I look like someone who reads. But if we use adjectives, we just use look. I look good, I look bad, I look friendly, I look smart, I look stupid, I look amazing, I look terrible.
And yes, that's why I love it.
And would you like to? That's why I love it as a nice way to end, but Alfona doesn't speak with a lot of confidence. It feels like she gets to the end of her answer. It feels like she gets to the end of her answer and she loses confidence. So she says, "Oh yeah, they look like amazing, and that's why I love it." It feels like she's not confident. She feels like her answer isn't full, and she doesn't know how to end sorry, have a little cough. She doesn't know how to end her answer correctly. Have a different pet in the future.
Mm, if I say if I yes, I would like to
Again, notice how many attempts it takes her to say what she wants to say.
prefer dogs because I think the dogs is really
Dogs is, dogs are.
friendly and
She's used friendly before, so she repeats the word friendly.
uh, they look amazing.
They look amazing. She's already said that about cats, they look amazing. So sometimes, we want to test students, can they continue speaking without repeating their ideas, without repeating their language? And unfortunately, Alfona can only answer this question by repeating the same language that she used before. And that, to me, suggests maybe not a very deep lexical resource, not a very deep vocabulary. Okay, thank you. Now, in this. Okay, so just some basic comments on part one. So the most critical problem in Alfona's speech is the amount of attempts, or sorry, the number of attempts it takes her to complete an answer. So she cannot give a full sentence without breaking down, stopping, repeating, and reformulating. Almost all of her answers have this problem. Secondly, vocabulary seems a little bit repetitive, a little bit not very deep. Her answers are extended reasonably well. She doesn't just give short, super short answers. She tries to develop her answers a little bit. So there is an attempt to speak at length, but she doesn't quite have, I think, the language skills to speak at length with a lot of skill, but she is attempting to do it, which is good. So I probably know what her score for fluency is going to be already. With her pronunciation is generally clear with a couple of mistakes, like she said lan instead of learn, she said major instead of major, so a couple of mistakes there. Her intonation is also quite repetitive, so she uses the always rising because she's not sure of what she wants to say. So she can't show different types of intonation for different types of sentences. So pronunciation, I need just a little bit more evidence to decide what I'm going to give her. Grammatically, there are very basic mistakes, like she doesn't use articles, she mixes up singular and plural forms, she uses constructions like my dad wants to I study, or something like this. So some noticeable grammar mistakes. Vocab is a little bit repetitive. So I already know what I will give her for fluency and coherence. In part two, I just want to search for a little bit more evidence for pronunciation to understand what score I will give her. And maybe I will just listen for a few more grammar structures, like does she use anything impressive that might push her score a little bit higher. Let's see. Next part of the test, I'm going to give you a topic, and I would like you to speak about this topic for 1 to... I would like you to describe a time when... Oh, is there no edit? Okay, so that's the end. Sorry, I thought I'd made the correct edit there, but okay. So let's have a look at this task. Describe a time when you had a disagreement with someone. And say how you felt about having this disagreement. So again, in the green part, we want to see language connected to feelings. What type of feelings might you have when you disagree with someone? Well, you might regret some things. You might feel bad. You might feel terrible. You might feel angry. You might feel frustrated. You might feel annoyed. Sometimes you might feel proud that you argued with somebody, right? If somebody always speaks badly about you and then finally you have an argument, maybe you feel proud that you defended your position. So a lot of language to talk about feelings could be used here. Also, describe a time when you had a disagreement. This is asking Alpona to tell a story. When we ask candidates to tell a story, we expect to hear some different narrative tenses. If the candidate is level band 7 or 8, we expect to see a nice variety of past tenses. Like, so this happened to me. So I used to da 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 da, and this happened when I was doing something, and I had already done this. So we expect to see past simple, past continuous, past perfect, maybe some used to, maybe some reported speech, maybe some past modals. A lot of opportunities to score good points for grammar, but I think Alfona's grammar level, I don't think she's going to use a lot of this variety, but still, at Alfona's level, I would still expect to see some past simple, or mostly past simple, maybe some past modals, and maybe some past continuous. Will we get it? End of your preparation time. To remind you, you will have between 1 and 2 minutes to give your talk, but I will let you know when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
So in my life, a lot of time I disagree with someone, and
So she uses disagree. We want past simple. In my life, I have disagreed, maybe present perfect, or I disagreed with a lot of people.
now I would say a particular time when I disagree with
When I disagreed, should be past time.
my parents. Actually, it happened 2 years ago when my parents want
It happened 2 years ago. Good past time reference. When my parents what?
parents. Actually, it happened 2 years ago when my parents wanted to me visit
Wanted to me visit. Wanted me to visit.
my cousin's home. But at that time, I haven't much time. I didn't
Not I haven't much time, but I didn't have much time. So again, we need past time. I didn't have much time. And also we have this phoneme ch. Ch, much time. Alfona pronounces it as a s. I didn't have mus time. Mus time.
much time to visit my cousin's house because I was busy for my
Okay, I was busy is past time, but very simple.
study for my study. And they wanted to visit her house because her anniversary because her anniversary.
Anniversary is a good word.
But I disagree with my
I disagreed. Past time.
parents, disagree with my parents, and they told me why I didn't want to go my cousin house. And
My cousin's house.
I explained everything
Explained his pastime. So sometimes she has about a 40% maybe accuracy rate with just using this basic pastime. Now, this is very basic grammar. When we talk about the past, we use past tenses. Alfona uses a lot of present tenses with some past tenses.
with them, and they understand about that. And I at the time I felt really
So let's see if we get this at these nice words connected to feelings. I felt really
angry with
angry. Good.
my parents. But when they understood everything, yes, and they told me, yes, you can continue your study. And I
Okay.
felt
So not much language connected to how she felt there. Thank
really
you. So you So that's the end of part two. What can I say about part two? So, unfortunately, there wasn't any variety of past tenses. She tried to use past simple a few times. She used past simple a few times, but she also used a lot of present simple to talk about the past. No used to, no past modals, no past continuous, no real reported speech. So she missed out on that grammatical range for high levels, but also for mid levels. Vocab was generally okay, enough for the task, clear enough, a little bit maybe repetitive, and nothing, no like idiom, no real idiomatic language or less common lexes or anything like that. All quite basic vocabulary, apart from the anniversary, which was she accessed that well. So I think I know what I'm going to give her for grammar. I think I know what I'm going to give her for everything right now. I think part three will be difficult for her, but let's take a look. You've been talking about a time when you had a disagreement with someone. I'd like to speak to you now about conflict. What are some of the most common causes of conflict between friends in your country? So it's a horrible feeling, right, when you get a difficult question. What are the most common causes of conflict in your country? So really, what the examiner is asking is like, why do some people argue in your country? But I think all IELTS candidates really need to know this word cause, because in IELTS task 2 you have this like, what are the causes and what are the solutions, or what are the causes, what are the effects. You have to know this word cause because it comes up a lot. The cause of something is the reason why something happens.
I don't understand, sir. Do you rephrase?
So she asks me to rephrase. That's fine. Why do some friends argue? What do they argue about? So I'm trying to help her here. I'm trying to make the question a bit easy just to give her an opportunity to speak.
And actually, most of the friends they argue because uh, mm, because what they want with their friend. And when they didn't get things like they want that they want at that time. And sometimes they argue with their friend.
Okay, it's taking her so many attempts to say Friends argue because they don't get what they want, but I don't fully understand that idea.
Because mm, because they are really feel boring.
Okay, they argue because they feel boring. I don't understand that answer, unfortunately. It's not an easy question. You know, what do friends argue about? Some people argue about sport. Some people argue about money. You know, if you lend money to a friend and they don't pay you back, sometimes they can argue about this. Sometimes you can argue about, relationships or housework or things like this. There are many reasons why friends could argue.
And do you think it's important to avoid arguments?
Uh, yes, I think because argument is really bad things, and we should always avoid argument and
So we don't get a reason why, right? So should we always avoid arguments? She says yes. Why? Because arguments are bad things. Okay, but can you explain why they are bad things and why we should avoid them?
um, argument can distance our relationship.
Okay, so that's an attempt, right? It can distance our relationship. I see what she's trying to say. That can create distance in a relationship, or it can, you know, make friendships break down or something like this.
Relationship, and it really bad effect. It really bad bad effect of our relationship.
Yeah, so typically lower level students, when they don't know what to say, they just describe things as good or bad or interesting or not interesting, right? Why did you like the film? Oh, it was interesting. Cool. Why should we avoid arguing? Because it's bad. It's like, okay, that's what we expect at lower levels, but not at higher levels. We need more information. We need explanations for why things are interesting or explanations for why things are good or bad.
And what do you think people can do if they disagree with someone? What can they do to avoid having an argument?
So now that Alphona said that, yes, people should avoid arguments, this question is like, how can people avoid arguments?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
So again, I think this question's difficult for her, so I decide to move on and give her a slightly easier question to finish, just because I want to see a little bit more language. There's no point in me trying to repeat and rephrase this question if I think it's going to be too difficult. So I'm just stepping down and choosing one slightly easier question for her to finish with.
It's okay. Let's move on then and talk about
Or maybe two more questions.
communication. How has the way we communicate with other people changed in recent times?
So this one should be quite easy, right? Nowadays we have the internet. Nowadays we use things like WhatsApp and Telegram and social networks to write to our friends. In the past we couldn't do this. You know, when I was younger we had mobile phones and we could send text messages, but even before that, like maybe 40 or 50 years ago, people had to communicate more face to face. This is a very easy question to answer.
Okay, we can communicate people different ways.
I don't know, we can or can't communicate people different ways. I don't know what you said. I think can. We can communicate people different ways. So there's no grammaticization there of that sentence. We can communicate other people different ways. You know, we can communicate with other people in different ways. So she's missing the functional grammar words.
Introvert is really good skills, and when we communicate different people, we feel we communicate our normally daily routine, or our our
Daily routine is a good collocation.
uh, our present time.
So sometimes this happens, the candidate feels nervous, the candidate can't think of the answer to say. And as an examiner, of course, you feel bad when you can see the candidate struggling. So I want to say, Alpona, thank you for doing this. It's not easy to do this even when somebody's language level is very, very high. But if your language level is a little bit lower, I understand that you can feel very nervous doing this.
How has technology helped us with the way that we communicate?
So I'm really trying to help her now, to give her some ideas, right? Talk about technology.
Technology help in this era. Technology is
In this era, that's okay.
really amazing value, and in this era dependent of technology, and technology now we can
Okay, this era is dependent on technology, fine, but talk a little bit about how technology changes the way we communicate with people. Again, talk about social media, talk about texting.
through technology we can communicate with our friends, such as mobile phone, and
Okay, she got there in the end.
there are a lot of ways, like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram,
Oh, now she's getting there.
and we can easily call our phone,
See, this is good language. We can easily call. We can easily call using can plus the adverb easily plus the verb call.
our friend when we hadn't a lot time.
Great, thank you. That is the end of the test.
Okay, so I don't think it's a very difficult one to score. Fluency and coherence, this one for me is 4. So the big problem here, I'll mention something positive, of course, too. So the good thing here, I just need to make sure that I'm on the right screen, and I'm not. Great. The good thing here is that Alpona tries to develop her answers and avoids giving too short answers. So that's the good thing. Unfortunately, every one of your answers, everyone, I think without exception, has repair work or false starts. Alpona can't say what she wants to in one attempt. So she has no success in saying what she wants to in one attempt, right? An example of this, what kind of sport do you like? I like different kind of sports, but my favorite sport is football. I play football with my friends and I also watch football. That's one attempt. Alfona's answer, what kind of sport do you like? I love different kinds. I love different kinds. So that's Alfona's type of answer, and unfortunately that happens through all of the test, and that's why she gets a 4. Her lexical resource is a bit stronger. Lexical resource is 5. She uses some nice words like in our current era or something like this. But in general, you rely on very simple and basic, very simple words like good and bad to answer your questions. When you develop your answers, you often repeat the same kind of language, but you do show some good vocab, like you used anniversary, in our era, just a little bit of, some decent vocab. Grammatical range and accuracy, this one has to be a 4 again, unfortunately. So I don't think there were any back-to-back error-free sentences. And that's what we kind of, if there's 0 back-to-back means one after the other. So if I have 3 sentences like, my name is Glyn, I'm from Wales. I like football. That's 3 sentences in a row, back to back, without any mistakes. I don't think Alpona had even 2 back-to-back correct sentences. There are mistakes. There are very common, very frequent mistakes with very basic grammar, including present simple, articles, singular, plural. She doesn't use past tense a lot when talking about the past. She often relies on present simple to do everything. And even when she uses present simple, she uses present simple with mistakes. And pronunciation, I think, is a little bit higher too. I think that's 5. So in general, it isn't too difficult to understand what you're trying to say. However, you have some problems with the ch and j sounds, and you mispronounced some other words like learn. Your lack of fluency negatively affects your intonation and chunking. Chunking, the way we group words together. My name is Glyn. And I'm from Wales. My name is Glyn, and I'm from Wales. So the way we group our words together, unfortunately, because Alphona's fluency is weak, this also negatively affects the way she groups words together in her pronunciation. And there's the same doubtful intonation because she's not sure of what she's saying. So this doubt in her intonation is always coming through. So what do we have overall? 4, 5, 4, 5. So overall we have a 4.5. So intermediate. Yeah, I think that's fair. Overall 4.5. Think key points to work on, at least with basic or personal information. Things like my name is, I'm from, I like, I don't like. You have to get better at delivering these sentences in one attempt. It's too much if every sentence you have some false starts, some repair work. You have to, just practice a few sentences, maybe try to slow down, maybe think about your language a little better, try linking your ideas with just very basic words, and, because, but, so. At your level, Alpona, using these words can help to develop your language a little bit more. And yeah, try to be aware of, or try to learn the present simple and the past simple as a minimum. Try to learn the present simple and the past simple. Of course, I don't know when Alphona's real test is, but it will be difficult for her to get any score higher than this. Her general language level, I guess her comprehension is probably okay, actually, more or less. But I think her general language level is, 4.5. So at this point, if Alpona was my student, I would not be doing anything IELTS with her at all. If she was my student, we would just learn general English, and then later, when she has some foundational general English, then we would start looking at IELTS. So for me, yeah, getting a 4.5 in IELTS, it's not worth spending the money to get a 4.5. So my advice is to learn general English before continuing on your IELTS journey, but that's only my advice. I want to say also, after the test, Alpona was very apologetic. Like, she apologized for her internet connection. She apologized for her English. She apologized for a number of things. Alpona, you do not need to apologize. You are a candidate. You tried your best. You tried to do your IELTS test. You got the score of 4.5, which means you're intermediate, which means, you can speak and understand basic English, but it's difficult for you to go deeper in your English. But you do not need to apologize for this, right? Having intermediate level English doesn't make you a bad person. Candidates need to understand this. Making mistakes in English doesn't make you a bad person. And if you have some internet connection problems, this also doesn't mean that you are a bad person. So thank you for being brave, Alpona. Thank you for taking the test. I hope this feedback is useful for you, and I hope the feedback is useful for anyone else watching. I have received a lot of requests in the last couple of days for speaking tests. I will get back to everyone as soon as I possibly can, so please be patient. But if you would like feedback on your speaking, get in touch with me. Information on how to get in touch with me is written below. But for now, I will leave it there. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.